We've got the camera set back pretty far again today because we have ourselves another big boy. We have this thing. This is the Yugioh card, or Yugioh card deck box. Obviously, this is a lot bigger than a regular deck box, and you're about to find out why. This thing is kind of like the hotel of card deck boxes. Not only is it a deck box, but it is many deck boxes all built into one. This thing is beefy as heck. It is pretty heavy, actually, all things considered. And yeah, we're going to take a look at this thing, and we're going to see if it's actually worth your money, because things like this that come with a lot of various deck boxes, they tend to be pretty expensive. So you can bet your butt that this is going to cost you a pretty penny. As far as what the actual price is right now when this was sent over to me, again, I don't like to say the prices because they change all the time. There will be an affiliate link down in the description, though, if you are indeed curious. Just to kind of quickly go over the points here that are on the box. It's a 7-in-1 Commander deck box. Holds 6 100 double sleeve decks, perfect for gauntlet players. It says here, upgraded XL dice box for storing dice, tokens, and counters. Strong magnetic closure, prevents spills, with shockproof drop-resistant protection. Includes 6 pieces, 35-point magnet card holders, and 6 dividers for superior protection and organization. The exterior big window allows you to find your commander deck faster. Waterproof PU leather exterior, soft microfiber interior for premium protection. That's actually pretty standard on most deck boxes nowadays. Like even this one has that. So yeah, we're going to crack this thing open, and we're going to see if it's actually worth your money. This was sent over to me for free in exchange for a review. Actually pretty excited about this one because it is so large. Wow, how's this? Okay, oh wow, okay. So this already has like a bag within a bag. Look at this thing. Really nice retail packaging there too. So retailers, if this was something you were looking to sell in your store, it does come pre-packaged, looking very nice. Wow, look at that. That's like a is this like a backpack? Not necessarily a backpack. It doesn't have the strings on the sides here, but it does have the drawstrings up top, which you can see there. Yeah, okay. So not exactly a backpack, but some sort of a bag that goes along with it here. Okay, so let's go ahead and slide this bag out, or slide the deck box out of this bag, if I can get it. It's catching on the edges here. There we are. Okay, look at that bad boy. And again, this feels kinda like canvas, just to kind of give you an idea. And then of course it does have the branding there on the bag itself. So I guess a decent little bag. Not bad. It doesn't look like it's very super high quality, but it's okay, I guess. Yeah, and then of course you got the draw. Oh wow. Okay, you may want to actually tighten these drawstrings. I just noticed these are actually already coming undone. Okay, so yeah, and then you get your drawstrings there. It should go all the way, and it does. All right, so bag's fine. I don't think anybody's going to really use the bag too much. Set you aside, but here is the big, giant hotel. Okay, so first things first, I've noticed there's a handle right over here, and it doesn't push down. This little thing kind of sticks out all the time, so yeah, you actually can't push it all the way down. It's kind of sewn in, as you can see, to the box itself. So it's going to protrude out of the side at least a little bit. Even if you try to push it down, it's not going to quite go, as you can see. So it's always going to stick out there from the looks of it. I'm just going to do a quick once over. The stitching itself so far, double stitch there, but it looks fine. Stitching there looks good. Stitching on side, pretty good. And of course we've got the stitching on the front, which also, or actually not the front, but I guess the side too. That also looks fine. Okay, so let's start taking this thing apart. Okay, so I imagine the magnets are going to be here up top. This is a first look, so I've not even previewed this product yet. We're looking at it right now together. Okay, so yeah, we got magnets here on the top. It should open, yep, it should open up like this. Ooh, that's kind of a darker kind of red there. See that red? That's a bit darker. Okay, so I guess this paper we're just going to get rid of. Over there, and there's the actual top of the little hotel kind of rectangular cube thing here. Wow, okay, so from what I'm seeing here, it looks like, yeah, it looks like there should be a total of 6. Yes, as you can see here, you've got 1 2 3 here, and then you've got a little dice tray there, and then here on the other side you've got very much the same thing. 1 2 3, and then another dice tray, and then of course you've got these little windows here. Now the windows themselves, from what I can see here, they are that kind of softer plastic. It's not a hard plastic, so it does have some give there. I think I'm gonna. Do I want to take the little plastic pieces off? I guess let's go ahead and take that off. Does this actually come off completely? No. Okay. So the actual large rectangular part right here is part of all of this. It doesn't actually just come off. So yeah, it's stuck on there for good. It's part of it. Okay. So let's go ahead and see if I can get this plastic off so you can kind of get a better view. There's your peel. It's not much of a peel, but it's a peel. And there you go. That's what it's going to look like there. A little bit reflective. Not too bad, though. But it is, like I said, that sort of softer plastic. Not that super kind of jelly sort of plastic that some of these, deck boxes have. There's kind of cheap. But it is much more flexible plastic there. Yeah, definitely plastic, not glass, just in case you were wondering. As far as the magnets here on the side, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 6 here, and then, of course, we're going to have the 6 corresponding ones over here. So you've got a total of 12 on each of these flaps, so that's a total of 24 magnets there. So let's go ahead and just peel this little last piece of plastic there. So we'll just peel it all. Okay. And as far as the magnets themselves, how do they feel? If you're using this little hitch right here, they feel pretty strong. If you're doing from the edge, not as strong because you're kind of putting a different angle there. It feels fine. Feels okay. I'm concerned how well these magnets are going to hold up if you were to actually completely fill this up. Because again, if you're going to be doing 100 card commander decks in each of these, again, there are 6 little houses here. So if you're putting at least, say, at minimum 600 cards in this thing, I think it should be fine, though, because, again, this whole part doesn't come apart from this. These are basically just little shields that stay on there. So I think it should be fine. You really won't have to worry too much about these things opening up unless you just really drop the heck out of this thing. I think it'll be fine. If this center part actually did come loose from these flaps, then you would have a problem. But since it's all one piece, you're probably going to be just fine there. And then again, yeah, you've got your flap right here, which is very, very well sewn in to the box there. So yeah, that's not going anywhere. Okay, excellent. All right, so let's go ahead and start cracking these open. We've got these little tabs right here that we can pull, and they just slide right out, just like that. Let's go ahead and pull each of these out here. In fact, we're going to pull them all. Wow, that thing is big. Okay, so it's just one. Okay, I thought there were 2 for a second. So it's one big giant dice tray. It's not 2 smaller ones. Okay, so just one of these. And then again, it goes all the way through there, as you can see. And let's close this thing up here real quick. And let's pull out the other side. All right, so we got 3 more over here. And again, these look like they're pretty well made. They look just like regular deck boxes, except with the little, flap that goes over top. Because if you're going to be housing them in this, you're not going to really need that extra piece there, that extra flap. Okay, so let's take a quick look inside. Looks like it's pretty well made. I'm not seeing any sort of excess glue really anywhere. Well, a tiny little bit right there, but it came right off. Yeah, it looks pretty good. These are not glued down. That's kind of surprising. Okay, so these little aisles right here, these dividers, they're sealed in right here up top and on the bottom, but in the back, they're not. And even at that, they're not glued down at the top or the bottom. Again, it's kind of like a little piece of cardboard kind of folds into this under piece right here, so these are not actually glued down at all. Okay, so yeah, that, I guess that should be fine. Again, considering the use case, should be all right there. Let's take a quick look at the other side. I imagine this is going to be very much the same thing there. A little bit of wrinkling right there I noticed right away, but not too bad. And again, same thing here. Yeah, these are not glued down. Okay. Still looks all right, though. Looks fairly nice. But again, it is very much the same as any other deck box out there, kind of that sort of soft felt lining. So yeah, it feels fine. Let's put this aside for now. And let's break out one of these actual boxes here. And again, as you can see, these are just like any other deck box out there. Very, very similar to like my regular Commander box. A tiny bit bigger in size, as you can see. Just a tiny bit. If you were doing just for, a single 100 or 120 card deck box there. And again, about, yeah, it's roughly the same size. This one that I use daily is just a little bit shorter there. But as far as the quality itself, I'm not going to go over every single one of these because in this video it would get really, really long. But it looks like the build quality is fairly decent. Got a little bit of a bump right there that you can see where the little tab is. So it's not terrible, but it also doesn't really look all that pretty. But most people I don't think are really going to care about that. Let's go ahead and pull this magnet holder out. We will take a look at these. And we've also got a couple of dividers that come in each one. Let me see. Do each of these have two? They sure do. Yeah, each of these have a couple of dividers. Oh, what's this? Looks like we got a little insert. Okay, we got a little thank you insert, and then this one also has two. Okay, so each of these boxes comes with a magnet holder and two dividers. These dividers are branded. Again, the red looks really, really nice, actually. They do got a bit of flex to them. These feel like 0.6. Are these 0.6? Let's take a look. Yeah, these are 0.6. All right, so your dividers are going to be 0.6. They feel pretty standard. Again, kind of that nice little balance between them being on the little bit of a thinner side, but also still have some sturdiness from like a 0.7 or a 0.8. So again, really, really hard to get these wrong, but they are branded, so that's, you know, kind of nice. Okay. As far as the rest of this deck box, it looks fine. I can go ahead and break out our commander deck. This is just 100 cards, single sleeved. We'll put you over here, and we'll go ahead and put this deck box, or this deck, right in here just like this. Wow, these are very deep. Look how deep that is. These are deep, deep boys right here. All right, so we're just going to put the 100 cards in there, just to give you an idea. As you can see, these are single sleeve. These are not double sleeved, but you got plenty of room there. So yeah, if you were a hardcore commander player, this is 100 cards right here. So you're definitely going to have enough room for a sideboard and tokens. You're not going to have any problem. In fact, I'm going to say that's at least another 30 cards. Where is my World of Warcraft deck? Because I know people are going to ask, you didn't put the other cards in there. Okay, look, here's another 30 cards. Right here, slides in just fine. You could easily fit 140 in there. There is plenty of capacity there. That is actually really, really good. Tons of capacity with each of these. So if you're doing single sleeved, this thing is going to hold at least 140 cards. So very, very good as far as capacity. Yeah, these things don't have any sort of flap or anything, and there's no magnets on these or anything like that. They just slide right into their little compartments. So no kind of shake test that we're doing today because there's nothing there. All right, so we'll set you aside. This is the magnet holder that you get with it. It looks pretty clear. Let's go ahead and open this up, and let's see just how good this is. Wow, that is very, very clear. Okay. Yeah, that is a very clear one. Okay. So let's see. The bottom does have a little bit of play. You can probably hear it there. It does have a tiny bit of play. Let's go ahead and open it up. The magnet itself, pretty strong. All right, let's go ahead and pull this apart. Set you there. It does have that little divot that you're used to. Let me break out my test card here. Let me get this to come out. There we go. All right. So this is our regular standard card. This is without a sleeve. That's how it fits. And it looks like these are actually wide enough to where you could fit a single sleeved, standard sized card in there. In fact, let me go ahead and do that because I believe that's what most people are going to do anyway. So let's break out our sleeve. Just a standard size sleeve here. There we go. Standard size card. And that's what it's going to look like with the sleeve. Let's close this sucker up. Come on. There we go. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like with the sleeve there, and it's kind of neat. The red sort of matches. It's not perfect color match, but it does match sorta. But yeah, that's how it looks. Looks pretty nice there. Yeah, and as far as a shake, does it get caught in the edges? It doesn't appear so. Imagine with the sleeve on there, it's going to be far less. Like I said, the bottom does have a little bit of play, which is pretty normal. You can probably hear it there. But as far as the two slats separating, I'm not really getting that very much at all. And so I think if you were to use a standard size card, like again, like regular old commander card with a sleeve on it, this should actually work just fine. And just to show you what it looks like, that's how it would look right there on the actual unit. Pretty nice. Now, once you take the plastic off, these do feel like they'll slide right out, and they do. Yeah, they slide right out there. So there's nothing, it's not really kind of hugging it or anything there. It does have a tiny bit of play. as you can hear there, but it's actually not too much. It's actually a fairly snug fit, all things considered. But yeah, just be aware that these things do actually slide out there. So as far as the deck boxes themselves, these appear to be really, really good. Just from a quick once over here, yeah, they appear to be built very, very well. I'm not, oh, there's a loose thread right there. But they do appear to be built pretty darn well. Yeah. I'm not going to go over every single one of these with a fine-tooth comb, but they all look pretty darn good. So, yeah. Each of these little Commander deck boxes do look really, really good. They look like they're well built, well put together. So that's actually excellent. Put this piece of plastic aside. Let's take a quick look at this dice tray. This thing is pretty darn beefy. Look at this thing, just to kind of give you an idea. Where is my ruler? All right, here's our big giant ruler. And this is the actual size of this thing. About 7.5 inches roughly. Yeah, about 7.5 inches, or about 19 centimeters. So it's a pretty big beefy boy. And as far as the magnets themselves, they do actually feel a little weak, if I'm being real honest. Yeah, it looks like we've got two here on the flap and then two here. So you got a total of 4 magnets here, 4 magnets here. Yeah, it definitely appears that there's only 4 on each side. So you got a total of 8 magnets. Let's go ahead and flip this off right here. This does come completely off. And there's your actual tray itself. Looks like it's, again, very much like the deck boxes, and that it's pretty well made. Again, soft felt interior there. And again, just to give you all a look at what it looks like with the dice. That's it. Plenty of room there. I don't have any more dice handy to me right now, but yeah, it easily fits an assortment of dice there. Regular spin down counters. I think it should even probably fit some of the beefier Magic the Gathering spin down counters that you get from the bundles, because I know this one is probably a standard size. The ones you get from the bundles tend to be a little bit thicker, a little beefier there, and I believe this, again, just to kind of give you a look at the angle there, yeah, it looks like it should have enough room to actually handle those bigger, beefier spin down counters. And as far as the flap itself, it does actually go on the bottom there if you want it to. Again, magnet's not as strong because the angle's a little bit different, but it does kind of hold a little bit. Not too well. This side especially, it doesn't really hold all that well. But it's decent enough, you know. If you're just looking to put, you know, kind of maybe just pull the dice tray out and just leave it there like this, it does slide under it, and it does hold up okay. So not too bad there. Let's go ahead and put this big boy back together. So what do I think about this thing? The overall quality is actually very, very good. It's a very well put together product. It totally makes sense to me. So I would say the construction quality is excellent. The materials used feel very, very nice. It does have that kind of sort of semi-grippy PU leather, but it's not super, super grippy. The magnets themselves on the top here are fine. The handle is really stitched into there, so that thing's not going anywhere. Because the idea is you load this sucker up, and then you're supposed to, you know, carry it around like this. And since this thing doesn't actually come off or anything like that, it's not going anywhere. It's really, really on there. This is actually a pretty good option because it houses everything just fine. It gives you all the space you need for each of your commander decks. Like I said, it's going to easily fit single-sleeved 140 cards in each of these things. So that's 6 times 140. That's a ton of cards. And then, as I mentioned, you do have this big old giant dice tray if you need that. Most people, as far as commander players, I guess if you're going to be using, I think it's called Gauntlet, where you just kind of break out a bunch of commander decks and hand them out to people, and then you just kind of go. I guess that would work because, of course, each of those commander players may need some dice or something like that. So, yeah, if you want to put, say, 30, 40 dice in this thing, it definitely has the space for that. I would say this is an excellent solution. It's very well made. This brand, I have actually looked at some of their stuff before, and if I remember correctly, that other stuff was actually pretty good too. This is going to get a recommendation from me because it does fill that need. There are commander players like this that will run around with 6 decks like this, and you know, whether you keep this at your house and you just invite a bunch of friends over and you all play Magic for the evening, you know, this is going to give you 6 different options as far as commander decks. Or if you take this sucker with you to your local, gaming store and just want to have variation whenever you're playing, you could easily slide this into a backpack, carry it around with you, and you'll always have that option there. Now, of course, the only bad thing is you have to pull the whole thing out whenever you're getting to the individual decks, but I mean, as far as it being a carrying case, something that's very, travelable, is that a word? Something that you could travel with pretty easy. I would say this is an excellent solution. It's very, very good, well made, gets a recommendation from me. Good job, Uono. This is actually really, really good. I personally don't have a use for this myself, so I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm probably just going to stow it away for a little bit and then probably eventually give it away or sell it. Who knows? Anyways, thanks for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share all that other good YouTuber stuff, and we'll see you next time.